How are you everyone? Welcome back to my episode number 2. This episode will bring Aventura home to winter. As you all know, we have snow and polar bears in Finland. No, not quite, but snow and freezing cold climate. Lakes usually freezes. This year though, it's Ep4 from year 2005. So let's start working with the outboard. Let's take the carburetor off for cleaning again and drain fuel tank. As I move and work like I'm in my 20s, let me tell you a story from our second trip in Lake Keitele. This trip took time at early June. We had steady southwest wind, blowing about 7 meters per second or 14 knots. Our plan was to go to end of the Ala-Keitele to Matilanvirta. We managed to Ukonselkä about 4 nautical miles away from harbor, which is about halfway. We were sailing only with our mainsail and making good speed and comfortable ride. Then shit hit the fan and we were drifting. The accidental jibe ripped off our main sheet. There was signs of chaos in both. Luckily, I had watched enough YouTube to know that the boom would be dangerous on downwind sailing. Everybody was sitting down and there was no close calls. I managed to get the main down, but it was torn. Only loss was our torn mainsail and my cap, which was blown away with the wind. Main sheet tied to the traveler, I started the motor and headed to Matilavirta. Everything seemed to go well after all. But then the Suzuki died on me. We were drifting again. Luckily there was enough wind that we could still control Aventura while drifting. So we drifted behind Iso-Selkäsaari and anchored there to have some thinking time and some snack. We decided to leave Matilavirta for the next trip and head back. I hoisted the jib and started rowing into the wind. It took a couple of tries to tack back to Ukonselkä, and then the wind died. We were floating in middle of Ukonselkä with torn mainsail, no wind, broken outboard and with oars. I have to say, feeling was not so cheerful. Wind still blew small breaths and we did move, but very slowly, even for sailing. Edge of Ukonselkä is an island, Ukonsaari, and the market waterway is very narrow. We floated there for maybe 10 minutes, trying to get past Ukonsaari with wind. But no chance, we had to go the other side of the island. Wind totally died and there was no other way to move but with oars. We rowed to Tuulisaari and anchored there. Sleet was good for landing and I tied Aventura to the tree. Luckily we had planned to sleep in boat and had everything that we needed. That was our eventful second trip. Learning a lot, and when you think of it now, it brings a smile on my face. And that's what it's all about. Thank you for watching. Consider subscribing and see you on the next episode.